Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, guess what's about to happen in Minneapolis today? Now, keep in mind, they're under a crime spike. Murders are up. Rape is up. Robbery's up. They're voting to completely, not defund, completely disband their police force. So who's pushing actions like this? Well, of course, Ilya and Omar. Some people did something. Yeah, some people came and rescued a bunch of Somalians from Somalia when they were killing off your specific tribe. Since you love it so much, why don't you go back? You know who else pushes it? Cori Bush. I know my life is important. That's why I got armed security. So without spending another $200,000, I got to protect my life. Yet you would take away the people who protect the people who elected you. AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley. They literally want you to die in the streets. So today, as Minneapolis holds a city council vote to determine if they're going to disband their police. You know what I'd be thinking if I were a cop? I'd be thinking the vote didn't matter. That's what I'd be thinking. If I hadn't already got out, I'd be thinking I need to start looking for another career in law enforcement somewhere else because I'm done with this craziness. Now, follow me on this. You might not get it, but follow me. Well, if you're one of my subscribers, I know you'll get it. You probably already have these thoughts. Why amidst a crime spike? Now, remember, just a couple of days ago, I did the video where Ilya and Omar is coming out blaming the Minneapolis police for the spike in crime. Not keeping in mind, well, apparently keeping in mind, but say they want to bamboozle you, they want to hornswoggle you, right? That it was her policies and her pushing these policies that caused the crime spike. It wasn't the Minneapolis police. These people are sick, vile, and disgusting. Now, once the police are off the street, then they're free to send their brown shirts, Black Lives Matter and Antifa shirts and to enforce the law. Now, I want you to notice something, right? In every major city where there's been a crime spike, there's not one thing at play. We all say, well, they're defunding the police. That's true. That's true. That's only one thing, though. The other thing is this. They also have the strictest gun laws in the nation. Do you think that's a coincidence? So now here you are a citizen. You're having to deal with criminals. The criminals know there's no cops coming. You know there's no cops coming. But since you're a law-abiding citizen, you can't even own a firearm to protect yourself. Meanwhile, the squad, with donation money, I might add, goes out and hires private security, spending tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was really funny because I had three buddies. There's four of us, but three others. And we were talking about starting a private armed security business. We'd have been cleaning up. Two of them had different ideas of how to take the company than I did. I didn't like the direction, so we just kind of let it dissolve and not worried about it. Man, I could have been on an island somewhere in the Caribbean as much money as the squad spending on private security. But you don't even get a cop. You can't even get a decent response time now. You can't even get a decent response time in Minneapolis. Look at these cities. Austin today is holding a vote on whether to give police more funding. Keep in mind, just last year, or year before last, the Austin City Council devoted to defund their police. The crime spiked. You know why? Because cops left. I'm not going to be patrolling an 8-area block by myself. Because you're just a sitting duck. Cops did the right thing. I don't blame them at all. And then let's talk about the big monster in the window. The vaccine mandates. Why on earth, if you're a city that's facing a rise in crime, your citizens are being beaten, mugged, and raped in the street. And in some of these cities like Seattle, sexual assault's not a crime anymore. Stealing anything, I think it's under $1,000, $9,000, whatever it is no longer a crime. And you don't have the police to enforce it anyway, but why on God's green earth would you now introduce a vaccine mandate unless they are purposely trying to burn it down? Think about it. No police, crime's up. Now you send in your brown shirts. Right out the Nazi playbook. Right out the Nazi playbook. But what I'm going to do today is keep an eye on the Minneapolis vote to see what happens. And if you're one of these blue states and you can't get out, I might have some good news for you. Maybe we'll come back for you. Already left. But my boy Brandon, who I do the DB Presents Underground News with, he was from Washington State. Grew up there his whole life. He left, moved to Florida. We're both conservatives. Felt like our vote didn't get us anything. What was the point? Nothing ever changed. It just got worse. But this is insane. Follow my line of thought here. First, of all the cities and states that locked down, they were mostly blue cities and blue states. Killed the economy, right? Or killed their economy. The issue at the port on the West Coast and on the East Coast now is their vaccine mandates. If you have one person on your ship who's not been vaccinated, you have to wait outside the port for four weeks, I think it is. Somebody fact check me on that and look it up for me. I'm not sure how long it is, but I know you have to wait outside the port and you can't dock. Inflation. Inflation's through the roof. Giving illegal immigrants $450,000. They're buying the vote. See? Shutting down our police stations. Not only that, but our fire departments, our paramedics, hospitals. There was a hospital that won't even deliver babies now because they got rid of so many nurses over the vaccine mandate. Nurses who, keep in mind, worked for these last 2 years during the whole COVID outbreak. And I'll quote Bill Mayer on this. 1,500 cases a day. The pandemic is over. Move on about your lives. But they can't let that go. See, it's the Nazi playbook. They need that fear to rule you. They need you afraid of your freedom, your own freedom. Oh, you're going to get sick and you're going to die, which is not true. Some people are going to die, just like in car accidents. They need you afraid of your Second Amendment rights, right? Oh, well, look, people are shooting themselves and, suicide. And all I say is, Alec Baldwin, you're not taking my Second Amendment rights. Don't even worry about it. Whoopi and Joey Behar can go screw themselves. They need you afraid to stand up for your kids. See, that's when you got issues, when you start messing with people's kids. Because people will die for their kids. So what do? The National Teachers School Board Association sends a letter to the Department of Justice 3-4 days later. Well, actually 2 business days, because there was a weekend in between. The DOJ starts calling parents who speak out at school board meetings domestic terrorists. Meaning they want to throw you in Guantanamo Bay. Guess what? That's exactly what the Nazis did. We live in Nazi America. So what are we going to do about it, people? We're Americans. We have a fighting spirit. What are we going to do? So I want you to think about that. If you're in a blue city and you can't leave, I made a heck of a sacrifice to get out. It'd be a little harder for other people because for me, it was just coming home. So like, subscribe, share, and as always, especially in these times, do what you got to do.